Hey, what up, guys? This is Derek and Dean back with the Double D podcast. First of all, before I even start introducing ourselves, I have to admit for once that I fucked up. Last week, there should have been an episode out, but my dumbass didn't record my audio. My one job that I'm supposed to do didn't record my audio.
Hey. Let's not start calling each other names right at the beginning of this, please.
So, Dean, I'm going to give you a nice minute and a half to flame me before we even start talking about what we're about to talk about this week.
Yeah, no, somehow, some way, the man who wanted to take a hold and really grasp this podcast decided that the one thing that you need in order to fulfill a podcast, you know what? I really don't need my audio, right? People just want to come here and stare at my face. Well, you know what, Derek? You're ugly. Nobody is coming to this podcast to stare at your face. They are coming to this podcast to listen to us, be stupid, be idiots, get picks wrong. More specifically, you.
Fuck
but
you.
You failed, and hopefully we can improve upon this in the future.
Yeah. All right. Well, going upon this for my fuck up during the start of this episode, mainly the first segment that we start off with is our picks. So our editor is going to cue what Dean's picks were, and through this podcast, I'm going to say what my picks were.
Damn right. Damn fucking right.
All right, Dean, I know you want to start off first, because...
Damn right I do. This is the first week in my entire life that I went 4-0, and somehow you don't get a podcast out. You know what? I'm actually starting to think inside my head that you did this shit on purpose because you're a little dickhead. No, because you just don't want to see me happy.
What?
Or you don't want to admit you're wrong and that I am just a more superior individual in every single conceivable way. However, we will get past that, and I will go into my first pick, which was a beauty.
Flashback.
I will be taking the Philadelphia Eagles -3 against the New York Giants. I personally, for one, am shocked that the line is that low. I feel like the Eagles should be favored much more than that. Sure, they haven't looked great to start the year, but they are 10 times better than the New York Giants, at least on the offensive side of the ball. The Giants are very good defensively. Nobody's doubting that. However, now that the Giants just lost their all-star, all-pro left tackle and Andrew Thomas to a season-ending injury this past week, absolutely no shot the Giants even have a chance going into this game.
End of flashback.
Eagles -3. I thought this was one of the easiest picks of the week. The Giants got absolutely fucked in the asshole 3 ways to Sunday. It was a beautiful, beautiful game to watch as a Giants fan, if you wanted to kill yourself, of course.
I'm going to kill myself, and it's your fault!
And the Eagles wound up winning 28-3, covering that -3 spread by a whopping 27 points. So, you know what? I'm just happy that I got the pick right. Obviously, as a Giant fan, I want to take a double-barrel shotgun and paint my ceiling, but the pick was correct, so that's okay.
Christ. All right, well, I'll start off with my one win that I had this week, and that one win is the Lions plus 2.5, which I thought was a gimme technically, because I think that giving them the 2 points, I thought they were gonna win straight out in that game, but instead it was a close game when it shouldn't have been. They had a 10-point lead with like 4 minutes left. They had to survive a game-winning drive and shit. It was a close game. Pretty much all my games this week were all close fucking games. Well, no, one of them wasn't. But I'll go with my next pick. I'll go with a win and a loss. I took the Jets -2.5.
Who bets on the Jets? Have you not learned anything about betting?
I thought that Devontae Adams would have sparked a little something in that offense.
Yeah.
I didn't even think. Why the fuck were they favored that game? Just going back.
And why would you take them? You're an idiot.
What? I don't want to talk about that game because that was a disgrace to football.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go right off the bat because I went Steelers plus 2.5.
Flashback.
Cool. On that note, I will be taking the Steelers plus 2.5 because go fuck yourself. No, in all seriousness, I think the Steelers are a more well-rounded team at this point in the season definitely better, well coached, and their defense is just ridiculous, just absolutely ridiculous. So I think if the Steelers do anything on the offensive side of the ball, I do think they win this game outright, not even just cover.
End of flashback.
Because you know why, Derek? Because I'm smart and you're not. The New York Jets are not a good football team. They are the same old Jets who don't have good coaching, who have an aging quarterback who really does not show much right now in terms of trying to carry a football team, which he clearly can't even with the weapons around him. Plus, on top of that, their defense is atrocious. And we spoke about this in length. And the Steelers are actually a good football team. So once again, see, because you're an idiot. This is going to be the entire podcast of just reaming on you, so get prepared for it, big boy. I took the Steelers plus 2.5. They wound up winning by 22 points. So that's my number 2 pick. Both of them correct so far. And you know what? Just go fuck yourself. I'm going to go into my 3rd pick, which I also got correct. I'm going to go the Las Vegas Raiders plus 6.5 against the Los Angeles Rams. Both teams have decimated rosters from top to bottom on the offensive side and the defensive side. Clearly, the Raiders just traded Devontae Adams, and the Rams have their entire offense decimated on the wide receiver core. They may be getting back Cooper Kupp, which would be a big thing for them, trying to get healthy. However, I just haven't seen it so far this year where the Rams have been good enough in my eyes to win by a touchdown. So I'm going to go on the side of caution. I'm going to go on the side of, with my eyes, I'm going to take the Raiders plus 6.5. They wound up covering with a field goal at the end. I don't know why they kicked the field goal at the end instead of going for it on 4th down when you're down 8 points. But I think they secretly wanted me to cover just to go onto this podcast and tell you to go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
They lost by 5, 20-15. Covering the 6.5 point spread. So this week, all of my spreads were correct. I'm going to take my victory lap.
Yeah. I'm going to go with my loss once again.
Yeah.
And
be depressed, little boy.
I took the Bucks plus 3.5. I thought the game would have been closer. The only reason why, if you pull up the score, it was 41-31. The only reason why it was close was because of the fucking garbage time points. So otherwise, I knew that as soon as it was they're up 30, I think it was 34-17.
Yep.
I was like, oh yeah, it's over. It's fun. I shut off my fucking iPad. I was watching on my iPad. I was like, get the fuck out of here. I'm done with this shit.
Yeah. No, and now Derek, I'm gonna let you go. Would you like to say your quote unquote lock of the week?
All right, this game should have been a fucking lock. I'm really
let's hear it. Wait. I don't hear you saying the pick.
All right, my lock of the week was the Texans. I'm pissed off because
that's unfortunate.
CJ Stroud played the worst game I've ever seen him play in my fucking life. This motherfucker could not complete a pass. The Packers are a subpar team at best. I believe they're 5-2. They are not that good of a team. Jordan Love.
I just hear a lot of excuses right now.
Up. Jordan Love is turning into a modern day Jameson Winston.
Oh my God.
I don't give a fuck.
The hate is off the charts right now.
Because this is fucking bullshit. How the
No,
fuck?
you just suck.
No, you go. You talk about your lot. I'll get to.
Yeah, you just suck. Just get over it. Jameis Winston, fucking Jordan Love. Jameis Winston wishes. You piece of shit. Don't you dare. My lock of the week to bring me to a beautiful 4-0 on the week. Cue it up, Gio. My lock of the week, I think this is by far the easiest one, that at least from the games that I've looked at, I'm going the Cincinnati Bengals over the Cleveland Browns. I think the Browns just suck. Let's just be honest here. They're led by a massage therapist rapist at quarterback. They have traded their number one receiver because that rapist could not get him the ball. I just think they absolutely do nothing this week. I actually think Deshaun Watson gets sacked 11 times this week. And I think the Cincinnati Bengals cruise their way to a victory. The Cincinnati Bengals over the Cleveland Browns. They wound up winning 21-14. The Bengals didn't look great by any stretch of the imagination, but they did what they needed to do to win. The rapist is finally gone. Torn Achilles. We never wish for injury on this podcast or in real life. But if anybody were to get injured in the NFL, I think the rapist deserved it the most.
Did you see the clip?
And not only no, I'll get to that. Not only did the rapist deserve this, right? I think the Browns as a franchise deserved this, right? Maybe going with one of the worst trades, sign and trades, mind you, in NFL history. Maybe you can argue the Bears and Carolina trade is a little bit worse, but this is a sign and trade where they gave this piece of shit human being over $200 million guaranteed money after getting rub and tugs from over 80 confirmed masseuses, and then he goes and tears his Achilles. I think this is an actual win, not only for the Browns, because now they can move forward, not only for the NFL, because they have this piece of shit out of it now for the rest of the year, but for mankind, that there is justice in the world.
Holy shit. I think by far on the internet, you are the biggest Deshaun Watson hater in the world.
I think Browns fans would beg to differ on me.
But potentially, yeah. Because if you cue up the stadium noise after when he tore his Achilles, him getting booed out of the stadium.
An unbelievable scene. Deshaun Watson carted off the field. This was seconds ago. Players from both teams giving him
good.
That is insane. I don't even think Eagles fans would do that.
Look, I'm sorry, man. This is probably, and we've talked about this, like the Browns are screwed for years to come, right? This is probably best case scenario for them because they couldn't bench him because you're paying him so much money. You are forced to play him because of his contract, right? And then not only on top of that, you realize you're losing. You still have to play him, but you're starting to trade away pieces because you're just trying to get picks back now in Amari Cooper last week. So at least, sure, Winston's going to come in and step in as your quarterback now, right? At least you're going to be a fun team to watch at some point. At least you're going to have somewhat of a chance to even be remotely competitive because this guy was so far down. As soon as his penis stopped getting touched, he could not throw a football.
I feel like the wide receiver room is so ecstatic right now that it's unbelievable. They're probably having parties knowing he's injured. They're happy. They're happy as pick shit. Well, I think is a good segue going off of injuries. The injuries that happened this week, more and more injuries. Such as yesterday, the gruesome ankle injury by Chris Godwin. Oh my god. Dude, no ankle should be aimed that way anyway.
No, it's good. And not to mention in the same game, Mike Evans as well, who's going to be out for at least the next 2-3 weeks with a hammy.
I'm a big Mike Evans fan. Like, not many people talk about him as much as they should because he consistently has 1,000 yards. And this is going to be the first season in his career he won't have it because of the injury, which sucks. Also seeing Brandon Ayuk go down with an injury, that was bad. That injury was bad.
Torn ACL down for the rest of the year. Very unfortunate for the 49ers, especially, giving him that huge contract in the offseason. But the 49ers offense continues to get absolutely bulleted with injuries across the board. So that's another big loss for the 49ers.
Yeah, it's this injury curse in this season is getting insane. Like, it's getting too much. Like, even though he came back, David Montgomery got hurt in probably one of the best games this year so far. Just like seeing him like go down walking off the field, like it's just everyone's just getting hurt after hurt after hurt after hurt. I don't know what the fuck it's just insane.
Yeah, another one, not to mention Jaden Daniels.
I forgot.
Hopefully he's okay. One of the biggest rookie stories of the year, who has absolutely lit up the quarterback position. He went down with a rib injury. To be fair, we're not sure exactly the extent of it as of yet, only because there was no point in bringing him back in that game. They absolutely routed the Panthers 40-7. So it's absolutely perfectly fine that he honestly didn't even have to play the entire game. and they would have been fine. So I'm hoping he's okay this week as we move into week 8. But yeah, you're right. The injuries just continue to pile up.
And as we said in previous episodes, like there's nothing that like the NFL can do. Like these injuries that happened this week were in like football caused injuries. All of them were like technically self-inflicted. Like,
well, the Chris Godwin one is being investigated by the NFL for a hip drop tackle. It looked, I don't want to say it was a hip drop tackle because it could have gone 50-50, but he definitely rolled over on the defender, and that's why you see that gruesome video of his ankle literally pointing the opposite way, which is very unfortunate. So, look, shit happens. These injuries do happen. Godwin, unfortunately, may have seen, if I'm not mistaken, Derek, he may have seen his last action as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, which is a sucky way to go out, especially because he has had a good career there. He is a Super Bowl champion there with Tom Brady when he was there. So the city definitely loves him. It's going to be a shame if he does leave in free agency, which he most likely will because just the money factor. Curious going to be to see where he goes next year, considering, it is a pretty gruesome injury. So I'm assuming he's may not even be ready for the start of next year.
No.
So that's a problem for another time.
Well, I just wanted to bring up a little bit because obviously the injuries that happened this week were big NFL players, like Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Jaden Daniels. But I'm going to go into another segment to where I admit I'm wrong once again.
This guy is fucking stupid.
Oh, shocking. Derek wrong? Oh my God. Can we actually make a segment on this podcast that just saying like
no,
Derek's dumbass segment?
Stupid shit that Derek says.
Shut the fuck up. This one was a toss-up, I'd say, but it's the Chris Jones and Dexter Lawrence debate. I know one defensive tackle who's better than Dexter Lawrence.
Oh, here we go. Going
Chris
back
Jones.
to this bullshit.
Chris Jones. I can't believe I didn't think of him. He is astronomically better than Dexter Lawrence. And you cannot say he's not.
I'm taking Sexy Dexy.
You're an idiot. You're an actual fucking moron.
I'm going to look up both of their stats.
I can't believe you're actually looking up their stats. I cannot believe
Because I'm so confident that Sexy Dexy is the best defensive tackle in the league.
You're so wrong. You're so wrong.
Oh God, let me add it, Lord.
Well, first, I have the stat. I'm pulling up the stats on my phone.
Bring it. I'm intently listening.
Okay. Chris Jones, 12 total tackles, 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble. For Dexter Lawrence.
You mispronounced his name. It's Sexy Dexy, sir.
Okay. Sexy Dexy.
Thank you.
Had 25 total tackles and 9 sacks. Do you have anything you want to say, dude?
I am so happy. You have no idea. You doubted him for absolutely no reason.
Well, I'm an Eagles fan.
For no reason. I don't give a shit if you're an Eagles fan. You have to be a realist at some point. This guy is not only one of the best interior defensive linemen in the game, he's just one of the best defensive linemen in general in the game.
Yeah.
The guy is absolutely wreaking havoc in the middle of the defensive line this year. The 9 sacks is absolutely unfathomable. And we're only through 7 weeks of the season.
It's kind of insane.
Yep.
As soon as we brought this up, as soon as I said something, this motherfucker has went on an absolute fucking tear.
And on top of that, everybody should have seen this coming. The guy is only going to get better because of the pieces around him. There's no longer a team that can afford the ability to double team him on a regular basis because you have Brian Burns, because you have Kayvon Thibodeau before his injury, and he will be back soon, because you have Azeez Ojulari. You can't double team him anymore unless you want other pieces on the Giants' defensive line, which I will reiterate is one of the best in the NFL to get past you. So this guy has a lot of one-on-one matchups, and he is absolutely destroying any offensive lineman that comes in his way.
Yeah, I just seeing him these past couple of weeks on like Red Zone or even on the Thursday night game against like the Cowboys. If that motherfucker gets his hand on you, I didn't realize it until after like we made like this. We spoke about this. If he gets his hand on you, you're going down.
Oh yeah, all he needs is a fingertip.
It's insane. Like, I've never seen an interior lineman, a defensive tackle who's his size, he's a big fucking guy, move fast coming off the line, and also being able to get to a quarterback when they're rolling around in the pocket nowadays. It's impressive.
It really is, and not to mention, look, you just said all the stats, right? To think after 7 weeks, 9 sacks by a defensive interior lineman, that's the most in the NFL, Derek. He is absolutely just destroyed. He is worth every penny of his contract and more. And not to mention that, you're wrong.
Yeah. Dude,
Yep.
this week, it's not going good for me. It's really not.
No, it's not. And this is going to continue to be the reaming episode of Derek. And I am just having a grand old time. I am so happy the world gets to listen to this.
I'm not happy. If it was up to me, I hope this file gets corrupted. But...
Yeah, and if it does, I may have to come over your house and steal your equipment and make it my own podcast.
Okay. I don't even know, like, I expected a lot more out of Chris Jones this year. Because you have to admit, though, Chris Jones is top 2. It's Dex, it's Sexy Dexy, and Chris Jones. Neck and neck. Then who's number 2?
Cameron Hayward. Any rebuttal?
Fair enough.
Fuck off.
Well, no. There is a rebuttal. Because he plays more of the end. He doesn't play interior. It might seem like he does because they run a 4-3 offense, 4-3 defense.
You've said the same exact thing about Chris Jones.
No, but Chris Jones is solidified a defensive tackle. If you look up Cameron Hayward right now, it will say right end. It will not say defensive tackle.
I'm looking it up. I'll give. Where do you want me to look this up? ESPN,
look
Pro
up ESPN.
Football Reference,
ESPN.
Okay, ESPN. It says Cameron Hayward, defensive tackle.
Bullshit.
You know what? I actually think I'm going to request from our editor to make a montage this week of every single thing he has said wrong. It's going to be a long video, ladies and gentlemen, because Derek could be the stupidest human being alive.
Last week, there should have been an episode out, but my dumbass didn't record my audio, my one job that I'm supposed to do. I took the Jets minus 2.5. I took the Bucks plus 3.5. All right, my lock of the week was the Texans. Chris Jones. I can't believe I didn't think of him. He is astronomically better than Dexter Lawrence. If you look up Cameron Hayward right now, it will say right end. It will not say defensive tackle.
Going into week 8 of the NFL season, and I have never been happier in my life. This is like a revelation to me.
This is not good looks.
This is an absolute revelation to me.
I swear to you that I've seen him majority line up on the end in my time watching football than I have seen him line up in the defensive tackle. But
because you're stupid. All right, next segment.
Well, I'm going to be happy for once. Fuck you. I'm going to talk about Saquon's return game. This motherfucker, I love him. He's saving the Eagles. By far, saving the Eagles.
He is.
He had 176 rushing yards. I think it was off of 14 carries. Could have been. I don't remember
that
exactly.
Number. I'll have to double check.
Yeah, and he had 1 touchdown.
2.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! Oh, kill me. Okay, he had 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they came out this clip after, but seeing him I didn't realize how nice and
I actually want to take this one. It was 1 touchdown. I thought he caught a catching one, but Jalen Hurts had 2 pushes.
Yeah. Okay. So with his 1 touchdown, and he was 13 yards away from his career high.
Yep.
And he said, "No, let the other guys eat."
Yep.
For someone who's gotten a lot of criticism from Giants fans and from not the Giants organization, but like just Giants fans in general, and not wanting to because me personally, I'm a petty motherfucker. I would want to stick it to them, no matter how big of a score it is. I would get my 13 yards and then take me out of the game. But he said, fuck that, have the other guys eat. Even Nick Sirianni kept on pretty much glazing him the entire press conference, but still, it was
because Nick Sirianni doesn't do anything else right.
Yeah, pretty much what he said to Jalen Hurts was hand the ball off to Saquon Barkley.
Look, Saquon had a great game. This was honestly pretty expected, if you want my opinion. He's going back into a giant crowd that's obviously, like you said, hostile. So he definitely wanted to, have a little bit more amped up energy when it came to it. Maybe take an extra smelling salt or two on the sideline for this type of game. But look, I think the two biggest takeaways from this game was in terms of Saquon. If you are a bettor in any sort of way and you didn't take any time touchdown and you didn't take his over in yards, you're a complete retard. His over under in yards, I believe, and Derek, you correct me if I'm wrong, was like 89.
It was 89.
Which,
89 and a half.
which is an absolute steal.
Oh yeah.
Of DraftKings, FanDuel's, any sort of site you want to name out there. Everybody could have stolen money from them.
Oh yeah.
And anytime touchdown, it was probably, let's just say, around minus 220.
Minus 180.
Minus 180. Okay, that's still fair. Steal.
Oh yeah.
I would have taken a second mortgage out on my house on that one.
Yeah, dude, the odds for like his yards like that game were insane. Like they're extremely low to what I thought it was going to be. For a return game, you would think a guy would want to fucking rush for like 120 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like, it's insane. Most people, I think, I saw a stat. There was 1.3 million people bet on Saquon to score an anytime touchdown. I could be off with that number, but I know a lot of people did.
I don't see how you don't.
Yeah.
In this situation, this was the stars aligning type of situation where Jalen Hurts has been subpar to say the least this year. The coaching has been suspect to say the least this year. So when you're going against a Giants team as bad as the New York Football Giants, you just knew they were going to run Saquon down our throat.
Yeah. But the thing is, to start off the game, and I know, that shit was slow as fuck. The whole first quarter.
The whole first quarter was slow. It was 3-3.
It was a sack fest.
It was 3-3. It was a pretty horrific game, if you want my opinion.
It was bad. Oh, and I might as well go on your side. How do you feel about Daniel Jones being benched this week?
I thought he should have been benched in week 2.
That's fair.
But it's a very similar situation as to the rapist, where you're paying him so much money, it's kind of hard to justify benching a guy who's getting paid $40 million a year. Yeah. Right? And on top of that, Coach Dable already confirmed that he will be starting in week 8. So, look, if you're a Giant fan, there's 2 ways to look at this. One, God, that was like the lowest point of the Giant season by far. Getting absolutely blown out against the Philadelphia Eagles, getting destroyed by Saquon Barkley in his return. However, if you look on the other side of that 8 ball, right, where if you want to be a little bit of an optimist, you knew you were going to suck dick this year. The fact that you even got 2 wins so far is shocking in my eyes.
Yeah.
So if you do want to tank this year, which is looking like a lot of Giants fans are on the same page on this one, where you're going to need a quarterback after this year, you're trending in the right direction. It's as simple as that.
If I know you probably don't look into this now, but if you were to you get the top 5 pick, you're obviously going quarterback, correct?
I would go quarterback, bearing in mind maybe the Giants have someone in their mind that there's a lock within the top 5 and he gets stolen before you. That's the only thing I would say, because, like, for example, as of right now, right this exact second, Carolina is going to be ahead of you in the picks.
Yes.
So if you're in that GM room and you're evaluating quarterbacks and you have this one guy who you want more than anything and Carolina takes him, maybe then you don't take a quarterback just for the sake of taking a quarterback.
Yeah. It's crazy because these two, this quarterback class and the one after this is going to be very, very good. Because I watch college football. You don't watch them. I know you don't watch it that much. But
I've been watching enough.
Like for this one, Jalen Milroe, Quinn Ewers, Shador Sanders,
yep,
and a bunch.
I personally love Quinn Ewers.
Oh, that kid's an animal.
I think he's going to be very good. I think he translates the best into the NFL. I mean, you didn't even mention Carson Beck too, Derek.
I know. I was about to mention him.
Which he's a stud too. I think Milroe has definitely tapered off the last few weeks. He's shown a human side to him.
Yeah.
And then people can debate all day long whether Shador is the real thing or not. It's very tough to it's tough to make that judgment with the conference that he's in, with the teams that he's playing. But you definitely do have a good draft class here, and it's it's going to be interesting come the time that because a lot of the teams that are going to be in that top 5, top 10 are going to need quarterbacks.
Oh yeah. I think pretty much if you look at the top class, like top 5, the Dolphins are in there. They don't need a quarterback, but they should.
They should.
They should think about it.
I mean, look. To be fair, that was one of the big storylines that Tua is apparently going to try to come back. At least not this week, maybe the following. Right? He's being designated off of IR, which is a good sign for his health, which I'm happy to hear. However, if you continue to lose games and you're the Dolphins, I think you should start enacting a backup plan because maybe not only is this guy's health in question in the future, just maybe you find out that he's just really not the guy to bring this team to the next level that they need, especially in a division with the Buffalo Bills who don't show any signs of slowing down in the next 2 to 3 years.
I feel these upcoming weeks actually are going to be huge for most teams in the NFL. Pretty much committing if you're going to tank or if you're just going to try to like make the playoffs pretty much.
The only reason I don't think the Dolphins are in complete tank mode yet is because one, they still have an unbelievable offense around Tua if he comes back even close to his previous playing performance, right? You still have Hill, you still have Waddle, you still have a chain, you still have Mostert. Like, you have a very good offense still, right? And then number 2, the Jets suck.
Yeah.
So you still have an opportunity if you can go on some sort of a run to make a wild card spot because, let's be honest, I think it's very safe to say that this is the Bills' division to lose.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you do have an opportunity to make a wild card spot if you do go on to a little bit of a run, which I think they definitely can.
They could I wouldn't say easily make the playoffs, but there's a high chance they make the playoffs because for the first time in a while, I'd say, is for once I see the AFC as like a weaker conference than the NFC.
I do get what you're saying. I think in general, though, this has just been a relatively weak NFL year where there's not a lot of juggernauts you could say off the top of your head.
Yeah. Like I would say the Chiefs are juggernauts. Me personally, I don't think they are.
Well, so that's where one of the things where we've disagreed in the past couple of weeks, but I could see your point of view. The one juggernaut that goes off the top of your head is obviously the Detroit Lions.
Oh, God.
They're just a bunch of savages. I think a juggernaut as well is the Baltimore Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
I think a juggernaut as well, if you want my opinion, especially after the trade, is the Buffalo Bills. And then you can even argue some other teams like the Minnesota Vikings. I wouldn't say juggernaut them, but they played the Detroit Lions hella tough this week.
Oh, yeah.
You can argue in some sort of capacity, some sort of relative, emotional, just get it the fuck over their capacity that the 49ers still have enough talent to be one. They just haven't shown it. You realistically have 3 juggernauts in the league right now.
Going off one of the juggernauts, I do want to talk about the Baltimore Ravens real quick. That team is fucking insane. Lamar Jackson's playing out of his mind. Leading, I think he's favored to win MVP this year. And Derrick Henry is close behind him. He's number 3, I believe, or number 4, which is just crazy. I don't know. It's hard to see teams like being able to like stop like their offense in general. Their defense is obviously shaky. It's always been shaky. They never had a really good defense. But just seeing like their offense like fire on all cylinders, Lamar being able to throw the ball. He had I don't even know what his QBR was this week, but it was probably fucking insane. Good completion percentage, 5 touchdown passes. One of them he didn't even need to do, which was the fucking
5 touchdown passes and 0 interceptions. He is now 3rd or 4th, I believe, one of the statistics all time in the amount of games that he has had 5 touchdown passes and 0 interceptions. Look, they got off to a shaky start. As we all know, they lost to the Chiefs on a literal centimeter of a toe by Isaiah Likely, and then they came back with an absolute stinker the following week against the Raiders where everybody in the world thought they should have blown them out. However, they have really clicked now on all cylinders. Like you said, Derrick Henry is the Derrick Henry of old, where he's just absolutely dominating games. And in turn, that has helped Lamar tremendously because now he doesn't have to do it all by himself, especially in the run game. Not to mention, just a little tidbit, Mark Andrews is starting to get a little bit hot in that offense. He's had 3 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. They're starting to throw him the ball a little bit more. Maybe he just had some lingering effects from his injury in the preseason the first couple of weeks, and now he's starting to get the rust off. You never know. But just in general, they're clicking on all cylinders. I thought that was we all thought that was going to happen before the season started. It's finally happening in fruition now. I'm very excited to see the final 5 games of the year when it comes down to division games, and you have Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati just absolutely manhandling and destroying each other each game. That is going to be very fun to watch. Yes.
Because that division has consistently shown how competitive they are. So all the games will be close, besides obviously when they play the Browns. But to move on from the sport of the NFL, let's talk about the World Series.
Woo-woo!
You and me are both Yankee fans. I would admit, you're a longer Yankee fan than I am. But for the first time since 2009, the New York Yankees have reached the World Series. I want you to speak first because I know you love talking about the Yankees. So you have the floor.
No, it's been a very long 15 years for not only the Yankees, but really within those 15 years, New York sports has faltered quite a bit. Last championship within New York in the core 4 sports was 2011. So not too much longer after that with the Giants. So New York has been really vying for any sort of momentum when it comes to a championship for the last 13 to 15 years now. So, and this was definitely our best opportunity to do so, just with the path to the World Series, gaining the 1 seed, having the Baltimore Orioles and the Houston Astros get eliminated. And then you had to go through Kansas City and Cleveland, who are not bad teams. The Yankees just completely outmatched them in terms of starting pitching, bullpen work, and hitting, of course. So it was great to see. It was a very dramatic game, that Game 5 with Stanton hitting the 2-run homer to tie it up, and then Soto going absolutely berserk in the top of the 10th, hitting a 3-run bomb to send the Yankees essentially to the World Series, with them closing it out on the bottom of the 10th. So it was great to see. I think it's great for New York. There's a certain energy when it comes to a New York team making the World Series. So it's really awesome to see. And then you watch all the videos online of them replaying that game and replaying that home run. You almost get emotional.
It was so happy to see when I saw Juan Soto hit that home run. I went fucking insane. And it's also crazy to see is like that he's the person who we brought in this year to help us bring us to the World Series, and he's the one who did it.
Yeah, no, look, there was so many great pieces on the Yankees that really helped them bring me other than Judge, who has had a pedestrian playoff so far. He is picking it up a little bit, but he still had a pedestrian playoffs. Stanton winning the ALCS MVP. He's had He had 4 home runs in the ALCS alone, which is unreal. Obviously, Juan Soto doing his thing and just absolutely dominating at the plate, where you have Ron Darling on TBS wondering how the hell you get this guy out, right?
Yeah.
You have Gleyber Torres hitting in the leadoff spot, who has been phenomenal, completely trying to eradicate any sort of bad talk that he had in the regular season. Then you have your normal guys who were showing up. Volpe hitting a lot better. Luke Weaver coming out of absolutely nowhere and thinking he's Mariano Rivera these playoffs.
Yeah.
Just showing out. He had 1 hiccup game, which I think you're allowed.
Yeah, like I said this to a couple other people, like to our Yankee friends, like him having that bad game, like I feel like he's not perfect. It's going to happen. It's one game, you have to move past it, and that's what he did.
That's what he did. And then you have the 2 top of the guys of the rotation, Cole and Rodon, pitching extremely well so far. So it's exciting. Game 1 on Friday in LA, in Dodger Stadium. So It's going to be a doozy. All the games are going to be at 8 o'clock prime time. You got Friday, Saturday, then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And if necessary, you go to Friday, Saturday of the following week. So we're in for one hell of a World Series. But I know I just talked about a lot the Yankees. So, Derek, if you want to describe and talk about the NL team, all you.
Okay. So, well, I did say in my bias pick, I did say that the Dodgers were going to make it to the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
The Dodgers are a great team, and they showed how great of a team they were in the last game against the Mets. The Mets did by far have a great playoff run. It sucks they lost, but oh well, move on. But there's one thing I will say about the Dodgers compared to the Yankees is that by looking at it, like if you put the names to names, obviously the Yankees have a better bullpen than the Dodgers. That's one thing I think most people have agreed upon is that the Yankees have a better bullpen than them. But if you look at their lineup, like going through with Ohtani, they have Muncy, they have Mookie, they have Freeman, they have Teoscar, they have I think it's Kiki Hernandez.
Yep.
Chris Taylor. Their team is Will Smith. Their team is outstanding throughout the board. It's going to be hard for the Yankees with their dominant pitching that they've had to go against that team. It's going to be hard for them to pitch. The one good thing for both teams is obviously the rest days. I believe the last game for the Mets, I think was it Saturday?
Sunday.
It was Sunday night. So they have 5 days of rest pretty much to have all their pitchers ready for game 1. I think that we're going to be in for a good World Series. Dodgers obviously were favored to win the World Series this year with all their additions to their team, Yamamoto, Ohtani, everyone, their $1.3 billion payroll. It's insane. One thing I will say though is that going off the Yankees, this is not even like this is a statement. If I'm the Yankees GM, owner, anyone who's a chairman, anyone, I'm going to Juan motherfucking Soto. I'm giving him a blank check, and I'm saying, motherfucker, write down how much money you want and pay him that money. Because
I agree.
I don't see a reason to why the Yankees let him walk.
No, so, I mean, look, that's obviously a problem for after the World Series. You're focused on the next 4 to 7 games as of right now. But I do agree with you where after this season is over, I don't see a scenario where the Yankees don't give him exactly what he wants, even if they get outbid a little bit by his team, let's just say by the Dodgers or the Mets. I don't think Juan Soto leaves. I just think he's had a great time in New York. He has great chemistry with the guys. He's being protected by the greatest hitter on the planet right now in Aaron Judge. He has a perfect situation.
Yeah.
And in his first season, not to mention that, with a Yankees team that definitely can get better, they made the World Series.
Yeah, if you look at, if you compare the 2017 roster of the Yankees to this roster,
yeah,
it's pretty close. But I would say, me personally, I would say our 2017 roster is a little better. Even though we made it to the World Series this year, I'd say our 2017 roster is better.
It's tough to say because there was just so many different players. In 2017, you had that factor of you weren't supposed to be there. So it definitely has its different effects. Now, at the same time, when looking into this World Series, these two teams, the Yankees and the Dodgers, are actually very similar. The Dodgers do open up the betting favorites as minus 125, which for anybody who's a betting man, this series is pretty much even.
Yeah.
And that's how it's going to be throughout each game. The Yankees have a slight edge when it comes to starting pitching. The Dodgers really don't have much other than Flaherty and Yamamoto. And even with Yamamoto, he's still hampered depending on how long he can go because he did rush back for this playoffs. So starting pitching wise, if the Yankees can go deep in their starting pitching, it's going to help them as they go through the games because their bullpen will be more well rested. The one thing that both of these teams do absolutely phenomenal within their lineups is they look at pitches. They work the starting pitching in order to get into that bullpen, and that's where the key of the series is going to be because when you get to games 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and your bullpen is absolutely spent, it's just going to be a battle of attrition at that point.
Yeah, and also, for all you know, say game 5 down the road, it's not like we haven't seen him before. The 5th inning, the Yankees throw in Cole for an inning. or something like
Yeah.
that.
No. Well, they're looking right now. The Yankees are obviously starting Cole in Game 1, which is why it was so big to win in Game 5 with Rodon on the bump. But they're looking most likely from an outsider perspective, looking, and we're obviously not sure how they're going to go, but they're going to look at for Cole Game 1, 4, and 7. That's the ideal hope here, right? Unless he gets absolutely trounced in maybe Game 1, and then you bring in a long reliever because you'll have Stroman, and it's rumored that Nestor will be back onto the roster. Yeah, so you do have those opportunities to go to long relievers. You hope not with your ace on the mound, but you have that opportunity. And then the Dodgers announced today that they're going to be sending out Jack Flaherty in Game 1, who had a very good Game 1 against the Mets, and then got absolutely butt-fucked in Game 2 against the Mets, where his fastball was almost 3 miles per hour
And it was
down.
It was just hitting. Everyone was hitting it. Everyone saw it was gone pretty much.
Yes, so that's where these factors come into play. When you get to the World Series, there's not a team on either side that isn't fatigued at this point. You're running on fumes. You're giving it everything you got, especially when it comes to a Yankee team who is unbelievable at hitting the fastball. You better have your A stuff.
Yeah, you better pitch. Pretty much, this series, what I could say, is reliant on the pitching.
It will be, because you know what you're going to get from the lineups.
Exactly.
The lineups are going to be the lineups. You have the Dodgers 1 through fucking 9 who are unbelievable, as you mentioned. Ohtani, Freeman, Betts, Edman, Will Smith, Teoscar Hernandez, Kiki Hernandez. It just goes on. And then you have the Yankee side where you have Glaber, Soto, Judge, Stanton, Volpe. You can even put in there, if you want to, Rizzo, who has been hitting the ball better. So both of these lineups, you know they're going to succeed. I don't think the lineups are getting shut out in any way, shape, or form. So like you said, it's going to come down to the pitching. It's going to come down to whose bullpen, whose pitching staff can win that battle of attrition and go in there and give it their best shot. I think we're in for a classic.
Exactly. I was just about to say that. And this is what everyone, if you go on Twitter, go on any news article, this is what everyone has been looking forward to. Dodgers versus Yankees, East Coast versus West Coast.
It's been a long time. Since 1981, Derek.
Yeah. I'm going to pull up the clip to where you actually were speaking about this.
I think MLB wants to and needs to see a Yankees versus Dodgers World Series. I mean, that is the battle of the coast. You have the entire nation tuning into that one, right? The last time the Yankees and the Dodgers played in the World Series, you have to go back a long, long time, Derek. The last time they were in the World Series was 81. The Dodgers won that World Series. So it has been now over 40 years since they've met in the World Series. So I just think the MLB needs 2 big-time markets going at it head-to-head in the World Series, especially when, not to mention, within those markets, you have the 2 best players in the world. It's almost like this is the perfect meal that a restaurant owner could cook up, exactly. Right? The MLB wanted Dodgers versus Yankees, East Coast versus West Coast, Judge versus Ohtani, the 2 best players in the universe facing off on the biggest stage. The ratings from an MLB perspective are going to be off the charts for this series. I would be absolutely shocked, and we'll take a look at it in 3 to 4 weeks when the final TV ratings come out, but I will be absolutely shocked if this is not the biggest rating World Series in at least the last 10 years. It's going to be amazing to watch. I cannot wait.
Well, going into the end of the MLB, I do have to ask you, I want your prediction on what the series is going to be. Who is going to win the World Series and how many games and what would like the games be? I
am going to do one better than that. Not only am I going to give you the winner of the series and how many games, I'm going to give you the winner of each game just to get sexy with it, if you don't mind, Derek.
Well, I don't mind.
Okay?
I don't mind.
And we can look back to see how we do, but first and foremost, I think the Yankees take it home. I think they finally take home that coveted for 15 years later, number 28. And I think they take it home in 6 games. How the games are going to go, I believe. Yankees win game 1. Dodgers win game 2. Yankees wins game 3 and 4. Dodgers win game 5. And then the Yankees close it out in LA game 6.
I do agree with you. I do think the Yankees will win. And this is not even me being like biased. I genuinely think that the Yankees will win the World Series this year. I do think they'll win not 4-2. I'd say 4-1.
Wow.
I say the Dodgers.
Wow.
I say the Dodgers do take game 1, and this is going to be crazy to say.
You think that the Yankees are going to get then sweep the gentleman's sweep?
Yes, and the
Wow.
reason why I'm saying this is because I do think they will lose game 1, the Yankees, purely because even though they have a lot of rest, it's gonna be a big atmosphere for all those young guys. It's Judge's first time. If you look at the Dodgers lineup, they've been there already. In 2020, they were there. Some of the people weren't there. Ohtani wasn't there, and I think Ohtani, Teoscar, and I think like a couple other people. But like their organization has been here recently. They know what they have to do. The Yankees have not been there in a while. I do think Dodgers take game 1, and then the Yankees gentlemen sweep them.
That is very bold. I mean, would I enjoy that for my mental health? Probably not, because if we lose game 1, I'm going to literally start crying. But winning in 5 does sound pretty good. So,
and if we
I don't
win
want
in 5, it would be in Yankee Stadium, correct?
It would be, because how the series work now is 2 games for the number 1 seed, which is the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go 3 to the other team, which would be the Yankees, and then you go the last 2 to the 1 seed, which would be the Dodgers again. So you'll have 2 Dodgers, 3 Yankees, 2 Dodgers.
This is like another thing. Who do you think will win World Series MVP?
I don't think it's hard, in my opinion. I think he's going to show out. I think all the pressure is finally gone. I think Aaron Judge wins World Series MVP.
Really?
I do. I think the pressure of finally making a World Series is completely subsided.
Mm-hmm.
All eyes after the ALCS are on Stanton Soto because of their accomplishments and what they did. I think he's been having some better at bats. He's been walking a lot more, seeing more pitches, which is exactly what he does when he's on. I think he's going to take a deep breath. Not to mention, by the way, he absolutely, not Stanton as well, but he rakes in Dodger Stadium.
Oh, yeah, he does. He actually kills the ball at Dodger Stadium.
So I'm going to go that Judge has himself an Aaron Judge MVP El Capitan series to win the Yankees' 28th championship in his first.
I do think he is going to show out, but I do think Juan Soto is going to win World Series MVP. I don't see it being stopped, because this young kid, this 25-year-old man is just killing everyone. Like, even though he obviously has his off games, but he's playing so well. Like, hitting the ball, fielding, he's doing well. Best that he can do for his position, but still, I think Juan Soto will definitely win World Series MVP if the Yankees win the World Series. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. The winner has the World Series MVP.
Most of the time, I think there has been, oh God, I don't even want to say how many cases, but one more tidbit fact is the last time MVPs of either league have played each other, 1976.
Nope. Oh, God. Oh, yeah.
So,
I forgot Ohtani and Judge.
So Ohtani versus Judge, MVPs of both leagues, is not only just great for MLB viewing, but it's also historic, where in 1976, Derek, I will give you I will literally not ream you for the rest of the NFL season.
Okay.
If you could name the 1976 MVPs, and not to mention, I'll even give you a hint, and I'll give you the teams that each of them were on, if that makes it better.
Yes, you have to give me the teams.
Okay, are you prepared?
Yes, I'm prepared.
I'm just going to pull up on my end right now because I forget who wins in the World Series, so I just want to pull that up. But how many games was it? Perfect. So the 2 teams were the Cincinnati Reds and the New York Yankees.
Okay, I feel like the Cincinnati Reds one should be a gimme.
It is a Hall of Famer, and it is not Pete Rose.
Fuck me. I'm gonna go to the Yankees first.
Okay,
Now go back to
I don't give a shit. I believe in you. How about this? I'm even gonna give you 2 more hints.
Okay,
Are you ready for
I'm
this?
ready.
Both MVPs
Mm-hmm.
were catchers.
Oh shit.
It's
Oh
pretty
my.
fucking crazy.
All right. The catcher for the Reds is Johnny Bench,
Correct.
and the catcher for the Yankees. Oh my God. Why am I fucking forgetting this? Fucking hell.
I will give you. Oh, Johnny Bench was the World Series MVP. He wasn't the
Oh.
MVP of the year.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Okay, you'll never get the Cincinnati Reds one then. It was Joe Morgan of the Cincinnati Reds. But for the American League MVP was Thurman Munson.
I would have never have gotten that. I could have, honest
Oh.
to God, because I've played the actual MLB game.
Yeah.
I could have gotten that. I
You're
could
an
have
idiot.
gotten. I could have gotten Joe Morgan. But that would have been a good one if it was at Thurman Munson. Wasn't even thinking in my head. Wasn't even thinking of him. But that's
What other?
no.
All
dude,
right. Yeah. Yes.
I wasn't alive. It's hard for me to like go.
But neither was I, Derek.
Yeah, but you studied the shit when you were young. I didn't study the shit until I was like,
I didn't study it.
oh, shut up.
Let's calm down here. I'm not some sort of savant.
You know a lot. Well, moving on from football, I do want to talk about one more topic in the NFL before we go into our picks, which is
Okay.
I would say that we were wrong about Russell Wilson. I'm saying that we were wrong purely because of this. I know it's only 1 week. I know it's against the Jets. But the way I see Russell Wilson in this offense, coached by Mike Tomlin, is completely different Russell Wilson to what I've seen at the Denver Broncos. The way he was running the offense, he had the rushing touchdown, 265, I believe, and two passing touchdowns, 1 rushing, and 265 yards. No interceptions. It's a very good first game back after being out for 5 weeks and proving that he believes that he's the number 1 quarterback on that team.
Look, we said it. Obviously, the viewers are not going to hear it because of last week because you're a moron.
Yeah.
But we said it that Mike Tomlin is one of the best coaches in the NFL. If he was going to make this move, who are we to judge? Because he obviously knows best, being around the team, being in practices every day, seeing what they can do on both parties. So we can sit here from a viewer perspective, even the best analysts in the world at ESPN, Adam Schefter, they can sit there and say, what are they doing? You know, Justin Fields is 4-2, 10 total touchdowns, only 1 interception. Why would you ever bench him? But at the same time, especially if you're a Steeler fan, at the end of the day, man, you just have to trust in Tomlin's coaching ability. You have to trust in his judgment. He clearly saw what none of us else saw, I guess, until Sunday night. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I thought Russell Wilson was the correct move because I personally didn't. I thought it was idiotic. However, this is why I'm not a coach in the NFL.
Yeah, that's why we're both not coaches.
Well, you're not coach. You're not coach for a lot of other reasons, but we're not going to get into that.
I hate you. I literally hate you. Yeah, the last thing I have to say is that Russell, I wouldn't say we're seeing signs because it's like a reach of like him in Seattle running the offense like what he was with Pete Carroll in Seattle. I do see very good positivities. George Pickens getting involved finally, like what he should be, and having the whole offense involved. Najee, Jalen Warren, Pat Freiermuth. It was a good display of football from him.
I would honestly say he had a rough first half. He did pick it up in the second quarter. His first quarter was pretty rough.
Oh, yeah.
He made some really bad, rusty throws where even you had Tomlin on the sideline giving faces like, oh, Jesus Christ, did I make the wrong move?
Mm-hmm.
However, he really picked it up in the second half. He showed that he got a lot of bit of the rust off. Maybe, just maybe, it was Denver and it wasn't Russell Wilson. Maybe. I don't want to push it that far because it is only 1 game. We only did see 1 game from it. And to be honest, he's only going to get better this coming week because he's playing the Giants, and we all know how that's going to end. Look, I think he has an opportunity here to get better and better as the weeks go on, and I think it'll show, especially against the Giants team. You just have to hope he doesn't get hurt when the Giants sack him 7 times.
All right. Well, that's enough talking about this topic. We're going to go on to our picks of the week. And I'm actually going to start off this week. I never do. You normally do. And my first pick is, you are going to be shocked by this, is
Oh,
the
boy.
New York Football Giants. Plus 6.5.
Oh, God. I mean, do you just – how about this? We don't even go into that pick. You just chalk it up. You just take one of the L's already.
Dean, I said it before. I said that they beat
Christ.
Seattle, and they beat Seattle. They could win this game. And I'm only saying that I do think the Steelers do win this game, but I don't see them winning by a touchdown.
You are just so delusional. It hurts.
I'm sorry. I just don't see them
My
winning by a
God.
touchdown.
What are the Giants? Basically, are my Patriots your Giants?
Yeah,
are you
pretty
just that stupid?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, my God, bro. I'm actually feeling bad for you now.
Oh, shut
I kind of want to give you an extra pick just to try to make up for that
Watch,
loss.
when I go perfect this week, I'm going to be shoving it in your face pretty much.
Oh, boy. Ream week number 2 incoming.
Oh, fuck you.
Oh, God, that really warms my heart. Anyway, I am going to get into my first pick. My first pick is going to be the Green Bay Packers minus 4.5 against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah. That's a gimme pick, I'd say. Overall, the one thing I would say before I get into these other games, these games this week suck. They suck.
There are a lot of games where the spreads are at least 8, which is pretty crazy, which shows you the disparity of the games this week.
Yeah.
However, look, that's football. You're not going to have great games every week.
Yeah. Well, my next pick is the Falcons minus 2.5 against the Bucks.
Okay.
I've taken the Falcons purely because don't get me wrong, the Bucks are a great team, but it's going to be hard for Baker to run an offense without his 2-star wide receivers.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I see the Falcons taking that game overall and obviously taking it with the points.
Beautiful. My next pick is going to be the Arizona Cardinals plus 3 against the Miami Dolphins. I don't even think Miami wins this game. I think the Cardinals win this game outright.
Mm-hmm.
But the 3 points to me is obviously a very sexy thing, so I'll take it.
Yeah. I think that the reason why the Dolphins are favored this game is purely because the expectancy on Tua playing.
Which is even more stupid if you ask my opinion, because even when Tua comes back, it's going to be like an absolute zucchini vegetable running around out there.
Jesus fucking Christ. Well,
I'm sorry. I'm being honest here.
I don't disagree with you. I think it's like pretty much a vegetable rolling around in a wheelchair, but that's just it. My next pick is the 49ers minus 4.5 against the Cowboys. Because fuck the Cowboys.
That's your complete reasoning.
Pretty much, yeah, and also the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan owns the Cowboys.
Well, all right. Look, I respect it. I have no qualms with that. You're a good man. I cannot wait till you go 0-4 again. But
so you want the Cowboys to win?
I don't want the Cowboys to win. What are you, stupid?
It's minus 4.5, Dean.
I don't like you. I don't like you in the slightest. I don't even know why I speak to you half the time.
That's pretty much giving the Cowboys a win.
Okay, fuck you. I'm going on to my next pick.
Fuck you.
I've thought a lot about this one.
Okay.
But I'm going to go one of the bigger spreads here. Even though it could be 50. Look, so bigger spreads can always scare you out just because of how many points they have to cover, right? But I'm going to go with them anyway because I really am pretty confident in it. I'm going to go Ravens minus 9 against the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Because the Cleveland Browns are just horrific on every single situation possible. I do think they're going to be better with Winston and his quarterback. Don't get me wrong. But they're still a pretty bad team just in every aspect. And the Ravens are absolutely rolling. I expect the Ravens to pretty much steamroll them.
I honestly was going to pick them, but I was one of those type of people who I did get afraid by the points.
Yeah, it's not uncommon.
Because 9 points is a lot of points.
It is.
So that is a good pick because I do think the Ravens do steamroll them, but God forbid it's a divisional game. It could be close. So I wish you good luck on that. But I'm going to move on to my lock. And it should be a lock. And if it's not a lock, then there's going to be fucking issues. The Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow, he takes the minus 470 money line team.
I need a win, Dean. I need a win. I've had too
I
many
look.
L's. I need a fucking win.
I respect it. Like I said, I just can't wait to ream you next week.
And this spoiler for you
Okay.
is next week. I'm going to tally up what's the record between us, because this will be going to week 9, and that's halfway through the season.
Okay.
On what our record is, including our picks and our locks.
Okay. That's fine by me. I know I haven't been doing great in the beginning of the year, but I
Turn
did
it
say it a
around.
couple of weeks. I did say it a couple of weeks ago that I'm going to turn it around, and I have.
Yeah.
The last couple of weeks have been good. That being said, I'm going to go a bold lock of the week.
Oh no.
This team is not favored. They're actually +2 and +110 on the money line. I am going to go the Washington Commanders over the Chicago Bears, even if it is Marcus Mariota.
Wow, that's bold.
I'm going to take the Commanders, not even plus the points. I'm just going to take them because it is a lock. I'm going to take them straight up money line at +110. I think the Bears are still fraudulent, and I think the Commanders' offense will continue to roll no matter who is in the quarterback, just because of the coaching staff, which has been phenomenal for them this year.
Yeah, that's a good one. The only thing that would scare me is obviously if Jaden Daniels doesn't play and putting your faith in Marcus Mariota. But I do think it's a good pick.
I'm okay with it.
Because the Washington did show that they can run an offense with Marcus Mariota. So, good pick. Good pick.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And moving on from this, we got to go into your segment. So, Dean, take the floor.
Oh, God, that hurt the voice a little bit. But you get the gist of it. Some of these weeks I will be doing a deeper voice, so don't get scared, viewers, or Derek, don't get a little horny when you hear my deep voice. Try to keep it in your pants for once in your life. However, we will go into the segment Ball of the Week. How it works is me and Derek can basically choose any sort of entity within the world, whether that be within world news, politics, global warming, all that type of shit. And then you can go all the way back to sports, pretty much any sport you want to choose. Feel free to do it yourself. And you can choose one player, one person, one group, one team, however you feel best encapsulated baller of the week in your eyes for the last week, right? So the obvious one for me here was Juan Soto, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not going to be Juan Soto.
Okay.
I am going to choose the New York Liberty.
What the hell is even that?
In the WNBA, who just won their first WNBA championship since the beginning of their program. Not a lot of people know this, but when the new owner purchased the New York Liberty, they were playing in a college arena in front of only 2,000 fans. This year, this time alone, they are playing in the Barclays Center over the last couple of years in front of 18,000 fans, which is a big deal for the WNBA because, let's be real here, I'm going to be a little honest here that not a lot of fans have flocked over to the WNBA over the last 10, 15, 20 years. They've almost gone bankrupt, and they would have if the NBA hasn't stepped in. However, this is the beginning of the year of New York, right? That's how I look at it in my eyes. The New York Liberty are the first ones to win a championship for this year. The next ones will be the New York Yankees. The ones following that will be the New York Rangers. And the ones following that will be the New York Knicks. So,
Sure
my baller of the week is – no, I'm not sure about the last one. My baller of the week will be going to the New York Liberty. Congratulations to all of them, all of those wonderful women over on that team winning their first championship of their franchise. Personally, I don't watch the WNBA because I have a life. However, it is still nice to hear that a New York team has won. So they are my ballers of the week. Give it up. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen. Woo-woo!
I'm not having a query against your thing. I didn't know that there was a WNBA finals going on.
Well, because you're an idiot and you don't follow all sports.
I'm sorry, but I did not know. But congrats to the New York Liberty. Congrats. I will go to the other New York side, and I will give it to Juan Soto. Because I know it's an obvious one, but that man made my day. That day when he hit that home run and pretty much brought us to the World Series. As a kid, I witnessed the last time the Yankees won a World Series, I was 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm old now, and I'm actually seeing it with my eyes and actually understand baseball.
Old
So-
now? You're not going to say how old? Can you not count?
No, I could count, but I just don't want to out my age.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Because people can't do
No, I'm
math.
20 all right.
2009. Yeah. No, that's fine. No, continue.
Dude,
continue.
I
Juan
could
Soto.
blame you right now. Shut up.
No, go. Juan Soto.
right.
Good for you.
Juan Soto, who's pretty much made every Yankee fan happy for the first time in a while. Even though our team has been good, he was the focal point of the team, and obviously in the world, not in the world, in the ALCS. Even though Giancarlo Stanton did help out massively, and I was going to give it to Giancarlo Stanton, just what Juan Soto did in the big moments when we needed him the most, he solidified.
Yeah. I agree with it. Like I said, I thought that was the easy one, and I was going to go with Juan as well. He has done phenomenal in his first year as a Yankee. Not only, batting over 300, batting in front of Judge, getting close to 100 ribbies and all that good stuff, but bringing them to the World Series for the first time in 15 years is no short accomplishment. So
At the age of
love my
25.
man Juan at the age of 25 when he's going to get a $500, $600, $650 million contract after this year. So he's definitely living the dream.
Mm-hmm.
So that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Our bowlers of the week, the New York Liberty and Juan Soto.
God
Give it
bless
up. Woo. Give it up. Yep, there we go. Beautiful. Love it.
All right.
Congratulations to all.
Yep. All right, that concludes this episode of the Double D podcast. Hopefully there will not be any more fuck-ups off of my end. I will try my best to not do it. And let's just say if I do it again, I'll give myself a punishment. Because I shouldn't be doing this. It's kind of easy how to fucking record my own audio.
If it's so easy a caveman can do it that if he fucks up again, he has to do the next podcast fully naked.
I'm not trying to get demonetized. Don't listen.
No,
to
it
me.
won't.
Shut up.
No,
shut
it
up,
won't.
shut up.
Because you won't see your penis.
All right, Dean. We're gonna cut it out. Like, subscribe, follow us on TikTok, follow us on Instagram, and peace out.